all three of our readings today somehow involve eternal salvation and resurrection, which is actually kind of nice for me because I preached about earthly salvation last week. So it's always good to get the flip side. Now, I would like to begin by summarizing the first reading and the gospel in one sentence. No, you don't understand. That's it. That's really it. For the first reading in the gospel, there is some sort of misunderstanding at work between how things work in this world and in the world to come. Now, the first reading in specific says that we are called to live our lives justly, for that is what echoes throughout eternity. And resurrection and justice go hand in hand. When we lose our sense of justice, we lose a sense of ourselves. And eternal life and resurrection is about the salvation of our whole being. Okay? So you might say that justice has a spiritual component to it, something that we need spiritually. Now, our first reading, if you didn't catch it at first, was from the book of Maccabees. Now, this is a time of war where the Jews were rebelling against their Gentile occupiers with some success. Unfortunately, our exact reading today from chapter 7 was not one of the successful parts. Today, we were hearing about all of the oppression the Jews were experiencing at the hands of their Gentile oppressors. I mean, they were trying as hard as they could to break their spirit and destroy their culture. And it's absurd. You know, what they were doing is they were forcing the Jews, on pain of death, to eat pork. You know, besides the purpose of oppression and hatred, why else would they do that? And by the exact same logic, who in their right mind would choose death over eating pork? It's ridiculous. If you think about it, why did this happen? Why does it continue to happen all over the earth in one way, shape, or form or another? And the short answer is, justice has that effect on us. Our sense of justice tells us that there is more at stake than what initially meets the eye. All right, that's that misunderstanding bit that I talked about a minute ago. Now, it actually isn't that hard to find out whether something has a spiritual component to it or not. Forget about justice for a minute. There is plenty in life that has a spiritual component to it, and there's a fairly reliable test you can do to find out if you have a history book nearby. If you suspect that something has a spiritual component to it, look to history toward the people who have been victimized and had that thing assaulted and attacked. If something has a spiritual component to it, it will not die or be destroyed, no matter how strong the attacker is. And I'll give you two examples. The first is our desire and ability to reproduce. Yes, I know that's as natural as a thing could possibly be, but nevertheless there is a spiritual component to it, and in history, mostly modern history, countries have instituted population control mandates. Some of them are gentle, others are not, but they've all failed in one fundamental way. People will have children no matter what their government says and no matter how harshly the offenders are punished. It's true that some people can elect not to have children. It's true that some people cannot have children, not denying any of that. But as a whole, as a group, generally, people cannot help but live out their need for children. It is something that cannot be controlled or suppressed. It is something so natural, so important to us as people, it can never be separated from us completely, at least not for long. In just the same way, people always fight for freedom. Always. In history, when an invader, tyrant, or dictator is starting to come into power, one thing he'll generally do at the beginning will be to negotiate with the people. And he'll say something that boils down to, give me all the control, give up your rights as individuals, and everything will be fine from here on out. Sometimes the people don't take the deal, and war flares up again. Sometimes the people foolishly do take that deal, partially because of the fear that must surely go into that kind of decision. But before long, those people come to their senses. Before long, they realize they gave up more than choosing Coke or Pepsi at dinner. They gave up a rather significant fraction of their soul. And those people, when they realize that, they will build up the courage to fight and take back what was lost. Freedom has a spiritual component. Everyone needs some freedom in order to be who they truly are. And some people don't realize that until their freedom is taken away from them. No, you don't understand, said the Jews to their oppressors. It is not about the pork. It is not about eating pork or not eating pork. It is about loyalty. It is about freedom. It is about who we truly are. You are ordering us to surrender our very identity. You are ordering us to give up our right to express ourselves as we see fit. It's not about the pork. It's about who we truly are. And that is what will be made clear for us all at the resurrection and the final judgment. That's what we heard in the first reading today. Now, I am fully aware that none of you actually cares about pork or dietary law. You're Americans. Why would you be? We will eat anything if it's between two pieces of bread. I heard that the first time. I just thought like a fried onion and plutonium sandwich. Like if it's between two pieces of bread, it counts as food. But I want to believe that you care about the spiritual component behind the dietary laws. I want to believe that if someone told you to be a clone of someone else, that you would fight back just like they did. Okay? Quit praying in public. Take that cross off from around your neck. Burn all your books. Don't listen to your music. We will tell you what music to listen to. Delete all the pictures on your phone and your computer. If that ever happened, I sincerely hope that you would fight back with every ounce of strength that you could muster. Because that's what it's all about. What's important in this life and in the life to come is how we live, not how long we live.